you are the guy that today's episode is all about, actually.
And some stories that he explained me, that was touching and inspiring to realize that my problems were never problems. Jesper knows ball.
Yeah.
He knows how to celebrate Nikola.
Yeah.
He's used to it.
Ball across to Dylan. He double in flight. Oh, what a start!
Into the net.
She does it again. Yes.
And Victor are the champions of Europe. Put something here. She has a game. Surprised the keeper. What a comeback!
Cool, and then it is time to talk handball again, everyone. And it is the trio of us sitting here cozy back together today with the cuddling and touching. I like it a lot. It's nice to see you boys. And at first, the man who never stands still, who is here to work, but still goes for a probably 20-kilometer run, the lungs of a horse, the body of a god, Martin Vilstrup.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, I'm good. Actually, I have to disappoint this time, but I didn't win running this morning. I was thinking about it. It was in my head, but then long sleep and breakfast was more tempting this time. But yeah, I have to stay in shape for whatever's coming up with beach handball. But I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, it was in my mind as well to go for a run this morning, but I needed to prepare this podcast. That's why I couldn't. But yeah, then in our golden middle, we have the one who has won it all. What is there left to say about him? 69 trophies. They speak for themselves. He is a humble superstar. He is Victor Tomas.
Hello, good morning. It's always nice to hear these nice words in the morning. Just makes your day.
Well, that's great. That's great. And you are the guy that today's episode is all about, actually. Because, we want to have a little talk about you and your career. And I'm super excited to get to know you even a little better after everything that we went through in this podcast.
Which is a lot.
It is. It is. Maybe to start it off, if you had to summarize your career, how would you do it?
I would say in one word it was a really nice one.
In one word, it was a really nice one.
Nice. In terms of, I was enjoying a lot. You know, it doesn't matter, of course. Being able to win some trophies, it helped, of course. But beside that, I was enjoying every step of it. From the beginning, when I started to play handball when I was 8 until the end, I was doing something I love to do. And it was a very, very nice ride because I also found a lot of nice people throughout the years, and I think this is the most important.
Martin, I prepared myself some questions here, but whenever you have one, you can always just jump in and tackle me from the side.
Yeah, I will. Well, to add a little bit up, it's always hard, to summarize a big career like Victor had. But first of all, from the outside, when you also saw Victor playing, he also had the mentality and, playing with the emotions. And in the end, it takes a lot to be captain for a team like Barcelona, which we often or always talk about being the best, Victor will say, but biggest club in the world. And that says a lot. And for the amount of trophies Victor won, and also being able to be in a team like Barcelona, one thing is that you play for them, also playing a role within. I think that says a lot about the career, but Victor also had it with the national team. So, yeah. It's an unbelievable career.
Most definitely. And when did it actually start? When did you first touch a handball?
Well, it was at home because my dad, he's a huge handball fan, and he was a player himself in an amateur level, and then he was coach, and he was watching a lot of handball at home, and it started at home, playing with him, playing also with my sister, the three of us. And also it was very important in my case. I was going to Palau Blaugrana in the late 90s, early 2000s, and I got stuck with that team. It was called the Dream Team in Barcelona that won 5 Champions League in a row.
Oh yeah, Paul Definitely.
Yeah. No, but you know, when I was watching these players winning all these things with Barcelona, the club that I was cheering for, I really wanted to be with them or like them, you know, and that was my goal.
At what age did you actually realize, okay, that is a goal that seems realistic by now, so that you can join Barca?
I never had this pressure in my mind. I always did something I was enjoying, and everything just came up in a natural way. I was making steps in a natural way, and when Barca, at this moment, the youngest teams in Barcelona was 12 years. So when I was 12, I went to Barca because, the handball in Barcelona, I mean, in the school system, it's not that big. So the club, they had control about which kids they wanted to take for the club, and they called. I went to Barcelona, and I spent the rest is history.
So pathetic, so pathetic. But yeah, I mean, there were a lot of trophies coming then afterwards. We don't have time to talk about each and every one of them. But do you actually remember the first one that you lifted into the sky with Barca?
The first one that I lifted myself as a captain, I don't remember which one is it.
But the first one that you won with Barca?
Yeah, it was the league in 2002, the season 2002-2003. That was the first one.
Mm-hmm. And when did you actually become captain?
I became captain in 2012, the season 2011-2012, if I don't recall wrong.
Yeah, okay. So it only took you 3 years then to lead your team to the Champions League. It's not a bad thing, not a bad thing. But actually, once you start winning so many trophies, do you ever get used to it? Does it ever get, not saying boring, but do you lose the tension before a final?
In my case, no, because as I said, I was a player that I really enjoyed doing what I did, and I learned in the Spanish league sometimes that you need to cheer the crowd to get into the game and not the other way around. So I was a player that mentally I was always prepared to play almost with empty stands, and mentally for me it was easy to go to the games and try to do my job as good as possible because I was ready for it.
Mm-hmm. And you have been talking about all those, I think you said, beautiful people that you met along the way. If you had to choose one, who inspired you the most along the way? Is it that guy?
No, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I can understand. I can understand.
If I have to choose only one, I would choose Daniel Saric.
Why is that?
Because he comes from the Balkans. When he was child, he was a kid. He was living himself a war in his country, and some stories that he explained me that was touching and inspiring to realize that my problems were never problems, you know, and to see a person like him going through difficult times and having this career himself with a smile in his face. It was very, very inspiring, and I'm very happy that right now I consider him one of my best friends.
Sounds like a very humbling experience there as well, that you are able to live your dream in a safe place, in a safe space, and great to have those people on the way. And coaches wise, who did you learn from the most?
I learned from a lot of them.
Was he one of these guys? Sorry, I'm letting you go with that now.
You can always learn from every coach. Also things that you don't like, you know, you learn that you don't like these kind of things. But I couldn't put only one name on the table. I have to say two names. First of all, it was Valero Rivera, the one who gave me the chance to be with the senior team, who trusted me when I was a kid, and I will always be grateful for that. And the second, and then when he was coach of Spain in the national team, we won the World Championship in 2013. So he had a huge role in my career. And then also Xavier Pascual. I think that I reached my top level with him. He made a better player out of me. And tactically speaking, and the way he sees handball, I have never seen anyone like him. He's so good that I'm really, really proud that I could be his player for 11 years because I learned a lot from him.
And especially talking about all those trophies that you guys won together, I can only imagine how much party there has to have been going on in Barca because
just a little bit.
You have to celebrate the trophies once you win them. You can't take that for granted. Were you a heavy partier, or how did you celebrate trophies?
That was going less and less with the years, but I always thought that all the trophies needs to be celebrated, and especially in the last part of my career in Barcelona, when the atmosphere around the team was not trying, but the atmosphere was like that. It was not challenging for us to win the domestic competitions, and only us knew how hard we were preparing ourselves to win the way we did it. So I like it to celebrate everything. Some of the parties were heavier and some others not that heavy.
After, yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I just wanted to know who was a heavy partier, and not meant in a bad way, but who could really celebrate, if you can remember one. That doesn't mean that he was going out as the last one, but he knew how to celebrate the titles, because it takes a lot of training hours, video preparation, sacrifices just to get there. So once you win a title, I think it's fair for everyone to celebrate.
Yeah, I think I could bring some names. I think Jesper Nodesbo, he knows how to celebrate. Nicola,
yeah.
He's used to it. Also Valero Rivera, player. Also with Spanish national team, Jorge Maqueda. I'm forgetting a lot of names for sure, but we loved to be together. I always have been in environments, in teams that we are a group of friends, and I always have been in a good environments. So when it's time to celebrate, everybody is, putting his best smile and his best intentions, and we loved to celebrate together.
But also what you spoke about before, it started me thinking about, once you first lose that hunger of, being tired of winning, then I also think, I would say that many players then lose a little bit of the motivation, because it should be a privilege to be able to win the Spanish league, the Danish league, the German league, whatever, even though you've been winning it 5, 10, whatever times. But for others, it would be maybe the biggest of they achieve in their careers. So it's I know it can be tough once you playing for a team where it's expected for them to win, but also you as a player, and also for the respect of yourself, keep reminding you, hey, this is what we're doing. It's not just everyone that gets the chance to win this. So I think it's important with the hunger in general for everybody who plays handball, that they want to strive for the goal, even if it's the biggest favorites or the ones where nobody believes in them.
Yeah, absolutely. And after which trophy was the party the wildest?
It was Spanish League Championship. This season, 2014 to 2015, when we won the 7 titles. At that time, one of the members of the board of Barcelona, he was owner of a lot of restaurants and nightclubs.
Sounds like a dangerous combination to me.
So I called him after winning the league, like, okay, can we have a table for ourselves in one of your clubs? he said, yes, okay, I'm gonna take care of it. And then I think it was 14 of us who went there. And then when we entered the club, they just switched off the music. They put the We Are the Champions, and they came with some drinks. And the person in charge of the staff of the club, he came to me and he said, I already spoke with the member of the board. I'm not going to say his name. And today, the drinks are free. You know? And the funny thing was that the next week we won Champions League.
Is it on free again?
We went to another club that he owned, and the manager told me, my boss told me that today the drinks are not free. Okay.
Fair enough.
He
But
learned
great.
his lesson. He learned, don't let them go. They're wild animals. Don't let them. They drink too much. No.
He probably went broke afterwards. But well, you got to celebrate the trophies.
That club had to shut down the doors after 2 weeks.
Great. But then talking about that season, it was the first season that you actually led your team as a captain to the Champions League title. Who was the first one that you called after winning the title? Or didn't you need to call anyone because everyone was there?
Yeah, everyone was there. The people who I wanted to be with, it was there. I was thinking about my wife, of course, because we have been together for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So she's been there since the beginning. And then, of course, my parents, which it took a lot of time for them to take care of me, to drive me to the trainings, to drive me to the games on the weekends, to support me every weekend, every championship. And now that I am a parent of a handball or football kids, I can feel and I can see how much time they were, I like the word investing on me, on learning some good values of the sport and life lessons. So I was thinking mostly about my wife and my parents.
Your parents are from Barcelona as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They must feel super proud to have their son being the captain of their club.
Yeah, they are super proud of me being the captain of Barcelona, and they were enjoying a lot during my career because they love handball, both of them, and they were traveling with the team many times. They loved to visit some iconic arenas around Europe. They have been in Veszprém, they have been in Kiel, they have been in Celje, they have been almost everywhere, and they have been a very important part of my career.
Are they part of the reason why you never left Barca?
No, not really. They never. Of course, when I always had to take a decision, I was talking to my wife and to them. But to be honest, I never received an offer to leave Barcelona.
Oh, actually?
Yeah.
They knew he wouldn't leave the biggest club in the world. But I have to say one thing before, I was thinking about it before, and it's getting more of a rare thing. But the thing also about Victor's career is that he said himself, he stayed in Barcelona the entire time. It might happen, he says now, that he never received an offer, but in case he wanted to go, I bet there were one or two clubs that probably would raise their hand. But that's a rare thing, to stay in the club for your entire career, and that I admire a lot, because that's not what you see in modern handball that much, that people are staying in the same club. I'm not saying it's wrong to change club, but it's just a rare thing, and also for the loyalty showing from the club to the player, and also from the player to the club. That's a thing that whenever I watch sport, I think it's a beautiful story. You know, that commitment and loyalty you have to. Yeah, Victor obviously felt a huge love for Barcelona. He's from there, and I guess they felt a big love for Victor as well.
But still, flames to dust, lovers to friends, all good things come to an end. And it was when COVID kicked that you said, well, I've had enough. How long did you think about that decision of retiring from handball?
The thing was that I didn't want to retire, and sadly, the summer of 2019, the doctor of the team came to me, and in the summer medical check that the team is having every summer, they found some problems in my heart that were getting worse and worse with the time, because they started to look that something was going wrong in 2017. It's a common thing in athletes, but at some point just stops to develop. And in my case, it didn't stop to develop. And it was getting to a point that it started to be a little dangerous if I wanted to have a normal, healthy life in the future without a pacemaker at the age of 38. Then I had a deep conversation with the doctor. I had some more exams done in my heart, and at the end of the day, all the doctors recommended me the same, that I had to retire if I didn't want to have a pacemaker in a very young ages. So on February 2020, I announced that I had to retire, not by choice. And then in March, COVID came. Suddenly we had to go home. All the competitions were cancelled. First it was the Spanish League, then the Champions League was prorogated till the summer, and then it was December. And when that happened, then I had the conversation with the club that I wanted to play. They said it's not possible. So suddenly one day I woke up at home, realizing that I never had the chance to play my last game, to be aware that was my last game. So that was very, very tough, mentally speaking. I say goodbye to the whole team on a Teams meeting. So it was very hard, and I had to work a lot with this to overcome it.
Does that get back to you every now and then, especially, well, speaking about this summer, when you have just visited Nikola Karabatic's last game, when we see the pictures of Uwe Gensheimer retiring and all the legends saying goodbye?
Yeah, I have to say that the club, they prepared me a farewell afterwards, when there was this ceremony of hanging my jersey on the wall of Palau Blaugrana, and this was a very, very magical and beautiful night for me and my family, and I'm really grateful to the club of everything they did. But of course, being able to enjoy the last game, you know, to know that everything is the last time, enjoy the last meal, enjoy the last driving to the arena, the last locker room moment with the team, and everything. Of course, I told to Nico when I was traveling to Paris that enjoy the last time of everything, because it's never coming back, these feelings. So yes, of course, I feel a little bit jealous, but at the end of the day, I had a very, very nice jersey retirement ceremony, and I'm very grateful for that.
And I hope that you are aware of the status of a legend that you are, and what joy you have brought to the game. And that's where we can just say thank you for sharing all those memories with us. And thank you for, well, contributing to modern handball.
Thank you. Thank you for asking me about it. It's always nice to remember a little bit of my career, to talk about it. You know me, guys, a little bit now, and you know that I like to make jokes, but you can feel now that I'm a little bit emotional talking about of all this, and I appreciate that we did this episode. Thank you.
Most definitely, anytime, and that's where we cut it right here, but this guy will be back the next time when it's time to talk handball again.
Ball across to Dylan Nahi, double in flight. Oh, what a start!
Ooh, into the net.
She does it again. Yes.
Van Dijvenberg are the champions.